This week we're looking at a film that no one has ever heard of, 1970s Donkey Skin, a film by a French New Wave director that we've actually not looked at anything of the French New Wave yet.
For many reasons.
So it's yeah. So it's something a bit different. This episode, pretty good one. We talk about demonic Barbie elephants, Cindy the fairy princess, and
Helicopters.
stuff and helicopters.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
helicopters. So banger film. I'm running out of things. Someone save me.
Keep listening and enjoy.
Right. Let's just start with the logline show.
As
then.
you
start
can
with the
tell
log
this
lines. We start
week,
with log lines.
everyone is really enthusiastic about what we're doing. Everyone's really ready and
We
geared
are.
up.
We got.
So,
We got.
I've not been here for 2 weeks. I forgot what we do. What even it, Joe? What is this? What are we doing?
This is a TED Talk about terrible films.
Mhm. Well, sometimes they're
Yeah.
good. Not often though.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. This is a TED Talk about films done terribly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good way of putting it. To be fair. But
Joe's created. It's the logline showdown, but Joe's just created a logline for the podcast.
There we go.
that was
The
a good
podcast
one.
needed
Joe has
one.
won.
Shall I just start us off with the log
You can
lines to
start
get
us
the
off.
Yeah,
ball
you can.
rolling?
Yeah, get
I
it.
don't have one.
Get.
We
Yeah,
need a bit of
I had to
here,
come up
okay?
with one on the fly, and it's not good.
Right.
But who knows? I might
Here's
still
mine
get a
for this
third
week.
point. I'm on a roll.
Here we go.
Can't believe you guys even voted for Cameron.
Well, this is your time to change that. Here we go. Donkey from Shrek meets a gruesome end in this twisted retelling of Cindy the fairy princess.
Ooh.
I do like that.
Is
For
that what you were looking
for
for?
the viewers and listeners who are tuning in, if you don't know what Cindy the Fairy Princess is, please treat yourself to the cinematic masterpiece that is that film. It is
The greatest cinematic triumph that
It is. It's
has ever
only
been
40
accomplished.
minutes long, so it's just like a TV show episode. You can easily pop it on and just blast through it. It's a masterpiece. If you look on IMDb, I'm pretty sure there's only one review for it, and it's 10 out of 10. So,
It's
I mean,
ours.
yeah, it is
Literally
ours.
yours.
So give it. But you know what, Joe, for bringing up Cindy, I'm liking that. I'm liking that log line.
Thank you.
I think it's a strong one.
Thank you.
She's got a special place in my heart.
It actually has a 6.1 on IMDb, and there is your.
Yeah.
There's 3 reviews of it now. There's actually more.
We sparked.
Oh, Cameron's
this-
is
okay.
number 1.
Yeah.
Let me say this now. Let me say this now for anybody
No, it's
listening.
not.
Okay. If this podcast accomplishes anything, I'd want it to be that we push Cindy the fairy princess.
Well, we need to do an episode
Into
of
one of
Cindy the Fairy Princess.
That'll be the end of year special.
And the year
that's the end of
special.
year special.
3 user reviews. Oh, they changed my life forever. Bro, someone else gave it a 9 out of 10.
They know good movies, man.
Jessica.
movies.
Oh, actually, no. I should probably
If you're
not say.
listening now,
Yeah.
if you're listening now, go watch Cindy the Fairy Princess and leave a review and say that the worst movie podcast in the world sent you.
Yeah.
We'll be very
Wait,
appreciative.
actually, yeah. If you manage to get that on IMDb, I'll be over the moon if someone says the worst movie podcast in the world sent me here to review
Anyway.
Cindy the Fairy Princess.
Who's next? I'm taking control. Who's next?
I can go next. I got,
Oh, no
I managed to whip one together pretty quick just before we started recording. I'm pretty. It accurately describes the film and how it made me as a viewer feel. I think so. I think it's the
God,
perfect thing
here
for
we
a logline. My eyes, dear Lord, my eyes. There we go. It's accurate. It's accurate.
That was
all
actually
right?
really funny.
I wanted to do that little gif. You know the gif that I put of that woman like washing her eyes, like putting her fingers inside her eyelids. I wanted to do that.
If that GIF had a description, it would be what you just said. Oh. You alright?
Yeah.
I want to
Now
know what
time.
my eyes is in reference to. I guess we'll get into that in the next bit. But Jesus.
Oh
Right.
man. Only
Anyway,
one
for my
man
log
left.
line, I know I'm not beating Joe saying Cindy the Fairy Princess. So instead, I'm just gonna steal Cameron's own words. Ever since I was a little boy, I searched for a film with the most seamless animation possible. Finally, I found that film.
No.
The magical wonders of handicapped fairies and poor acting can be overthrown by the stunning visual wonders. I'd recommend this film to all ages, since it is not an
Oh,
emotional roller coaster, no,
fuck.
a emotional roller coaster of a journey, and will help all find their inner child, full of wonder and love.
Man, the punctuation's not great either. To be fair, was it?
It's
I
so
did do
good.
it. I did write it in 2018. That is how
You
long?
were an adult.
No,
I
I
think-
wasn't. No, I wasn't. I'm always a year behind, so I was 17. I actually wasn't legally an adult
Oh,
yet
shit.
when I did that.
Oh,
That is a
God.
review from
Oh.
a minor right there. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. All right.
You basically doxed yourself in this episode, Cameron.
Yeah. Oh well. It's fine.
Might be
All right.
unironically the greatest
Get-
showdown we've ever had.
Yeah, I think they're all very strong. I want to vote for both of you. I mean, Ryan literally used my words, so I feel very compelled to vote for him.
You could argue then that if you vote for Ryan, you are in heart voting for yourself.
Yeah, but also you voted. You brung up Cindy, so like I've got to give it
Okay.
to you there for.
Cameron's
So don't let
torn.
me go first. I'm gonna go in the middle.
Cameron can go last. Cameron can be.
Okay.
I don't mind going last. I'll go last.
I'll go first. I'm sorry, Cameron. You just said the words "my eyes, my eyes, my eyes" over and over again.
Whoa! There was a dear
Joe,
Lord in there.
call it out. You know, he mentioned Cindy the Fairy Princess, which you didn't.
That's true.
So, my vote's for Joe.
Thank you. Me, on the other hand, hearing Cameron's poetry reminded me of a exquisite French musical that I watched very recently. And so I am going to give my point to Cameron.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna. Now, I
Oh,
feel
no,
like I
what have
would
you
be
done?
going against myself here if I
No,
didn't
don't
give.
do it.
If
Why
I
did you
didn't-
vote for him?
If I
Because I
didn't
thought
give-
Cameron had learned. I thought he'd grown. I thought he was better than this.
You've
How-
known him for like 10 years.
However-
Cameron,
Has
we
he
gave
ever
you
grown?
point. We gave you point.
However, even though I would technically be voting against myself, I'm willing to do so for the mention of Cindy that Joe brought up. So in this situation, I will go against my own better judgment and give the point to Joe.
He's become a man.
Yeah!
This is
Yeah.
some season 5 Walter White shit right here.
Yes.
Plus, the wheel never chooses me anyway. So the only reason I'd be picking Ryan is to have a chance at the wheel, and it would just land on fucking Ryan anyway. So.
Yeah. Right, there we go. We can see Joe has got his beautiful point, a little Cindy the Fairy Princess.
It's lovely.
Look at her.
It's
She's
beautiful.
having the time of her life right there.
She's
She is
absolutely
fucking
beautiful.
baked. Anyway, moving on. That Cindy must be so big that she can see. Yeah, I've absolutely fucked that. This transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Donkey
like,
skin.
where's he going?
Here we
Anyway,
are.
Donkey Skin, the movie this week, and there's a point Joe wants to bring up about the helicopter.
The fucking helicopter. We need to talk about this, okay? Because it just shows up out of nowhere. I didn't even know they had helicopters. It was so out of nowhere. It boosted the rating for me because I actually gave out an audible laugh and an audible what the fuck while I was sitting here watching it. You know, this whole film is like, you know, I describe it when I started watching it. It gave me very much an essence of like Alice in Wonderland. You know, that kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
Sort of like
Everything's
surreal.
kind of very surreal. And then at the end of the movie, the fairy godmother flies in a helicopter. I mean, look, I'm happy for somebody to sit me down and run me through, like there's meanings behind the imagery and the costume design and the setting. But there is no one on this earth that can convince me that there was any meaning besides the fact that why the fuck don't we send her into in a helicopter?
I think I know the actual.
I don't know
reason
what
why
the-
it's done.
I was so
Okay.
thrown. I couldn't believe it.
So
It was, in my opinion, the biggest plot twist of any movie I've ever seen. Because the thing with a plot twist is that you can't see it coming. But if you're watching like a thriller or an action film or something, a drama, there's gonna
there's
be
like some
something at the end.
foreshadowing.
There's gonna be something at the end. These things never. I think some of the best plot twists, like at the end of the movie Seven, for example. You seen that movie with
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
in the
yeah.
box?
Wasn't the
the plot twist?
box.
What's in the box?
That's a
It
box.
comes out of nowhere. It has the shock factor, but you are dealing with a deranged serial killer in the final act of the
And the
movie.
pedophile.
Yeah.
Something is gonna happen. But in this movie, where the horses are painted red and everyone sings songs, the fact that she comes down on a fucking helicopter was I just don't know what to say. It made the film for me. It really did.
Yeah. I've literally just seen this scene and I completely agree. It is insane. It comes
I
out
didn't
completely
think
out of
it
left
was
field.
possible to throw something in a movie that is so visually ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't think there'd be. I mean, there's a woman throwing up frogs for starters, but you just
She's
take
gonna
it
get
in
them
the
out of you.
stride of the movie
Yeah.
because the movie's just weird. But the fact that they threw in a helicopter at the end, that is the most odd thing I've ever witnessed while watching a film ever. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Look, they committed to the picture. They committed to the bit.
But I don't get it. It can't have any meaning. It's so
I
out
love-
of place for
I
an out
love
of
how
place
as
film.
well they so just play into it. Like the camera just fucks off, like looking
Yeah.
like out over the castle, and there's just like here's the like they hear it coming.
Yeah.
It's like, does
Well-
nobody else have helicopters then?
She's the
Like,
fairy
they must
godmother.
in-
You get what she wants.
I have a theory as to why
Okay.
helicopters there, and I was trying to look this up on IMDb, couldn't find anything, so it could be complete bullshit. But something that I believe with this film the director was going for is basically accuracy to. So it's based on like a
Based on a fairy tale. Yeah.
fairy tale from I want to say the 17th century.
Yeah, an
So-
old fairy tale.
Yeah, an old fairy tale. I mean, we can talk a bit about it's obviously influenced some shit,
Mm.
Mm.
in more pop culture, but basically his whole thing that he wanted to just be really accurate to the actual original story. So maybe there's a chance that at the end, I've not read the original one, but at the end, it's like the fairy godmother flies in, and it's like they don't have a massive budget to make like an animated thing of the fairy godmother flying in. Just bunger in a helicopter. We've got one of those.
I know, but like, imagine that conversation. You're making a film / musical based on a fairy tale, and you're going. This whole movie it's not meant to be a retelling of the fairy tale. It is an actual recreation of the fairy tale with all the wacky locations, all the odd things, the magic, the fucking world they're living in. And just to throw in a helicopter at the end. It doesn't I can't wrap my head around it. Not by the fact that why is the helicopter in the film, more of like why did they decide to do that? And it's just brushed off. It's just like
It's part-
just like
it's just there.
Yeah.
It's just, I kind of feel it felt like it wasn't meant to be filmed. It felt like maybe they were just transporting the actors, and some knobhead was like, "Oh, let me catch this on film, and we'll
when-
whack it in the final edit."
I will say when I first watched it, I thought it was just like a mistake, Like,
I
they
didn't
just
know.
they were like,
Laughing.
"Oh, it's like the happy ending." We look up to the castle, and then like someone just flew a helicopter over at like exact moment. But then it comes into frame, and it's like,
Bro,
no,
honestly,
helicopter is actually in this film.
it
Fucking
completely
dude's got a little
threw me.
headset on as well.
Yeah, because there's an actual pilot in there.
Actual pilot.
Who's not even dressed up. He's not in a costume. He's just a pilot in a helicopter with some guy dressed
I
as
mean,
some
getting
like.
dressed up would be dangerous, Joe. Come on, come on, come on.
I
Well,
know,
so it's
but
a
it's.
helicopter, you know?
Yeah,
I know, but
Dangerous
it's
his
call.
outfit is the outfit he's wearing. He's the helicopter pilot. That's what they wear.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, you got the king,
But then
the
it
princess,
makes me
the queen,
wonder.
the helicopter
It,
pilot.
it makes me wonder then. So we backtrack a little to earlier in the movie when the fairy godmother plummets through the ceiling to announce the plan for the princess. Does it entail that she's actually laughed through the ceiling and then been hitched back up? I don't know. Because there was no ropes. Is this a magical helicopter that can just pick somebody up?
That actually just adds more to my theory that it is the fairy godmother flies in and they just put her in a helicopter.
I
Because
honestly,
they have two
Yeah.
I
actors
think
that
I might
need
have
to
to
fly
agree
in.
with you because there's no context or base for it to be as it is in the movie, because we do see the fairy godmother fly away in that short. Because I know we can talk about the effect. I actually have quite a lot to say about the effects and stuff in this film in the next segment. But when in order to get the effect of her flying up, they just reverse the footage. But that shows that she's got powers and she can fly. And then at the end, she's just sat passenger seat in a fucking Black Hawk Down helicopter. Like, what the fuck? But it all just adds to the film, I guess, eh?
It does. It definitely no. It doesn't take away from it. So
It's my favorite part of the entire movie, and I told you there was a reason to my letterbox score. My
it's
score
not a
is
3-star reasoning. It's just it
it
had a
is
fucking helicopter at the
listen,
end.
listen. The fact that they had the audacity to put a helicopter in at the end of this movie,
They had the fucking
it,
balls to pull it off.
oh, it gained a lot of respect for that.
You're a fiend, Joe. You're a fiend. I cannot
Ryan's still
allow
here.
this.
Yeah, I'm
He's
still here.
chilling.
Oh,
He's
sorry.
chilling.
Acknowledging the balls.
Oh God, but yeah, I'm glad we got that out of the way first, because that
Yeah.
was staying on my mind the whole day.
It's part of it. It's just part of it.
Mm.
Part of the joy, Joe, the French
Yeah.
New Wave, which is what this film technically is.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh,
From.
what?
Here
Even
we
though this
go
is like the
again.
light, this is very light. It's gotta be said. It's basically just like probably like the effects and shit, like the colors
Well,
and
let's
the
break
director as well.
let's break down the rest of the movie. Let's start picking it apart. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck, Ryan? What the fuck?
What?
What do you mean, what?
What'll I do? What'll I do this time, huh?
I mean, I will say
Look, okay, they say it's a bad thing.
the premise is kind of saved by the fact that it is based off a fairy tale. I'd be a bit more concerned if it wasn't off the whim story from an
Yeah.
actual writer. But it is bizarre. It is very bizarre.
Yeah, it is. It definitely, yeah, the whole. Can we say it? Are we allowed to say it?
Of course. Well, it's based off a story. Look, let's just break it down. The beginning
You
of the
can
film.
say it with a funny voice,
The
like
story is based
On
around.
incest.
I'm gonna.
There we go,
Well,
it's
I was gonna put it in a PG way, but there we
Well,
go.
to be fair, it's
It
just a
is, to
word
be
for it.
fair.
It's not a
No, it
slur. You
is.
can say what. Yeah, a chunk of it is based on incest. Yeah.
In case there are any listeners that haven't watched this, which I'm
yeah, because
sure.
they went off and went fucking
I'm
watch
sure it's
Cindy the Fairy
every
Princess
single.
instead, Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, this film is it revolves around the fact that there is a king, a father whose wife tragically passes away, and he is told, or he swears, that he will never marry again unless he finds a woman more beautiful than his deceased wife.
What a goddamn vain thing, you know.
I
You're
know.
like peacing
Yeah.
out, and it's like,
But
don't
you
marry
know,
anyone less attractive than
I
me.
mean, I think
Like
it is a
that is 100% like she doesn't want him to marry again, but she doesn't want to be
yeah.
like say it. She wants to
Yeah,
like,
so
But
oh,
it's
to
I
like,
be
can die.
honest,
well,
I
if
can
he
die a
I
good
finds
don't think there's
someone,
anything.
It's like,
I don't think there's
I'll
And then he's
anything
marry
like-
them
wrong.
as long as they're hotter than me.
he's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
all
I
right,
don't think there's
middle
anything
finger to her
wrong.
from the
Yeah,
grave,
but
her
like
daughter.
grabs her like trophy on like the table, like
I
world's prettiest queen.
I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with that request. You know, your wife is dying. You know, you could pass it as just a joke. You know, a mere comment. Well, don't marry anyone unless they're more prettier than me. However, it's the
Her
fact that
final words.
he takes this
My
and
final
convolutes
message.
it into convincing himself that the only person prettier than his wife is his daughter. I mean,
Look,
quite bizarre.
man was just doing medieval Tinder, you know. He was like they're showing the pictures and he was swiping
Yeah,
away.
that bit
Yeah.
was actually
That was
that bit was so
that
good.
he got you know, he'd gone through everyone in his area. There was only one left.
Yeah.
That fucking guy.
I'm
That
more
guy who gives him
concerned, not
no,
He
besides
necessarily
gets,
his
he just
about.
mom, the
needed to
guy who
upgrade
gives him the picture of his
ye
daughter.
old Tinder Gold. He got way more matches.
Yeah.
It'd been fine.
Way more, man. He'd been fine.
To be honest, I'm more concerned with his advisors because
Oh
realistically,
my god,
they're the
the advisor he goes to is like, it says in this book, every daughter wants to marry their daddy. It's
Oh,
like, do you have a
what the
daughter?
fuck? Yeah.
No, no. But if I had one, I'd marry her. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah. I want to know more about that advisor.
Yeah,
Why
his
is he,
response to
I
it
mean,
is, you are the
it,
wisest of the wise.
it's not really a good look getting advice from somebody who's very obviously cooped up in the fucking attic,
He's in like a.
I wouldn't
who
know
then
anything about
claims
that.
that
Attics
all
strengthen
little
your mind,
girls
Joe.
want to marry their daddy. I mean, that is an obscure line.
Shame.
Actually,
They sing a song that incest is bad. You know? So.
they do. The king doesn't. The fairy godmother does.
Yeah.
But the princess seems to just disregard it. I don't think she's very aware about,
The ramifications.
exactly.
The webbed feet children.
Actually, sorry, we can talk about this further, but this has just reminded me of another, probably one of the key reasons why I gave this film a 3-star.
So not
Okay,
the helicopter?
Not that
about a further redeeming factor. It's all great. We've all seen musicals before. It's all great when they, singing. Very nice. Okay, French song, beautiful. However, the real star of the musical segments was the parrot.
Yeah.
No one can tell me
Yeah.
otherwise.
Not really
Now,
sure why the parrot's there, but he just copies the
he's a
lyrics of the
parrot.
songs.
Now, I'm really curious as to whether or not, chances are they dub somebody's voice over the parrot. However, if this director went out of their way
To just
to get a
train it, yeah.
helicopter for the final scene of the movie, I would not be surprised if they trained this parrot to sing these songs. And if that's the
Isn't
case,
like the most complex things they have it say, and it's generally like the same line. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's like
They
out of.
can do it pretty easy. Get a little parrot trainer in there.
parrots are a lot better at replicating than you might think. There's a good chance they could have.
Like you can teach a cockatiel to say words if you want, you know?
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, you raise a valid point. Why was the parrot there?
Because he's a
Don't know.
parrot.
Parrot.
Where
Yeah.
was he at the end?
He's in the
He
helicopter.
wasn't there at the end.
It's fucked
He-
off.
Yeah, he
He-
tried.
I
He
mean,
tried to get out of there. Got hit by the
there was
helicopter
a
blades.
new dog on the block, you know, something that could fly better than him.
Yeah.
So he was worthless.
But the parrot was a nice extra to the singing segments, shall we say?
Maybe that's where all the Barbie movies got their singing animals like extras from. The idea
Yeah,
for that is from here.
the
I
greatest
think
singing
so.
parrot of all time.
Singing parrot of all time. I don't know, Jeff. Have you
So-
seen some of the monstrosities in the fucking in the Barbie movies?
No.
Oh no, yeah, because you never had younger sisters growing up, so
Oh,
you're
you're
never
talking about
forced to
the
watch it.
recent Barbie movie.
No,
I'm
no,
talking
the,
about.
yeah.
I'm talking about the ones from the the earlier 2000s. Yeah, with like some of the horrors. Like Joe, look up. What is it? It's something to do with an island, like Barbie Island Princess, and look at the anthropomorphic like elephant. It's like a
Cameron.
normal elephant, but with a human face
Cameron.
on it.
Cameron.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Cameron.
he saw it. He saw it.
Oh my god! Fucking.
Look.
Okay, I'm gonna add a slide with a picture of this fucking thing on so we can show it on the screen.
We've all.
I'm slide showing it now. That's the elephant. Why does it have
There
a
it is.
person for a person face? I don't understand.
My Christ.
Look at those pearly whites. It clearly had braces growing up to have them looking.
That is horrific.
What is it?
That thing is a fucking carnival with those teeth. Like,
Yeah.
why does it
Barbie
also
Island
look like
Princess
it's
is...
like on Madagascar.
Also, they did some weird shit with with a monkey in that. Like they meet like actual people from like the mainland because like she's like trapped on an island, right? Meets people from the mainland, and they've got a trained monkey that like speaks fluent English and also is like an anthropomorphic human face. And like, but it's really just odd because they treat the monkey like a person and a better person than her because they're like, oh, she's a savage from the island. Look at this eloquent monkey having its tea. It's just all sorts of fucked.
Keeping on the segment of animals,
Yeah.
let's talk about the most prominent animal in this film.
The human beings.
Yes. Wow.
Human beings.
Well, the donkey skin.
donkey.
Which, by the way, would you believe is actually the skin of a donkey? It's an
You're
actual real
joking.
genuine. They went to a slaughterhouse and got one,
No, we're slow hard.
and they just
Why?
like gave it
Why
like
are
a lining
donkeys
to
in a
wear it.
slaughterhouse? Who's slaughtering donkeys?
Did they slaughter a donkey for this movie?
On IMDb, the quote the donkey skin that Catherine Deneuve, I can't say her fucking name, wore was real, obtained from a slaughterhouse, thoroughly cleaned and lined with fabric.
That is disturbing.
What?
They definitely killed a fucking donkey for this movie.
Oh yeah,
That deserves a downvote. Am I right?
that does. I think
No,
it does.
That deserves an upvote. If anything, more movies should murder donkeys.
Murder
Well,
donkeys.
Let's
Yeah.
start
At least you knew they were
let's-
committed.
on a lighter.
Next, you're gonna be
let's
telling me
start
that
by talking
cat
about the
you
donkey
sat on was a
while
live
he was
cat.
still alive. Let's begin by talking about the donkey while he was still alive. Okay.
He was a wholesome little fella.
He shitted out gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a major plot hole in this film, I feel. One of many, I will add. But no matter how much the king wanted to marry his daughter, he's a real simp for killing his gold mine donkey. All right, that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
He
I
could have
would
just given her
never-
like the giant cat that he sits on skin. Give me that.
I also
know it's dead, but-
quite I also quite enjoy the fact that he just refers to the donkey as his banker. You require my banker's skin? Yes, Papa. Please.
I mean, do you
Fucking
think when he killed it, like he could hollow it out and it'd be full of gold?
Do you reckon that when she wore the skin, she'd shit out gold? See, that would have been a better plot.
That would have been a
Fuck's
better
sake.
plot.
Yeah.
What
That's the real
how-
reason the prince wanted to marry her.
was it? And it wasn't just gold; it was like jewels and stuff, though.
Yeah,
How was the
jewels,
donkey
gems.
making that?
I
He's
guess
magical
magical. I guess when he petted it, you know.
Yeah, he must have been, can't have been comfortable spraying out rubies from his ass.
Yeah, it didn't.
Did
At
you-
the start of the film,
did you
it did
not hear
look
his-
comfortable.
I
Did you not
did
hear
it,
it?
yeah.
Fucking
But,
like
I mean,
reaches.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you had to shit out gold on a daily basis? Jesus. He probably was happy when he got fucking skinned.
It's like, sweet,
Got my misery.
sweet pussy.
Thank you.
Put me out of my misery. God. So she saved the donkey from its terrible fate. I mean, we also don't
Did
know.
she
I
just
mean,
have
it's
it
a
out for the
magical.
donkey?
It's a magical donkey. We don't know if it had everlasting life. Well, not. It could have been done that. It could have done that for hundreds of years to fund this royal family's
Your entire economy is built around a donkey.
donkey.
I mean, it's a sound business strategy.
But I mean, not very smart by the king. If I was living in this world and I knew that this royal family's basically their entire wealth came from a single donkey that is paraded at the front of the stables. I'd
Probably
be
not
in
their
there quick
entire wealth,
time.
but we had- It's
More.
like there's more money if I need it in this donkey.
True.
You also can't overuse the donkey because then you'd completely devalue, like gems. If there's like billions of gems just from this
So
donkey,
Ryan, we're not getting into the fact of the donkey inflation.
donkey.
okay?
I
The
think
donkey
it's
causes
fine.
inflation. Okay. Are you saying that the British government right now, in Downing Street, doesn't have a donkey
But
shitting out?
they were
British
lucky that
pounds?
donkey wasn't shitting out oil. Otherwise, the Americans would have been there in minutes.
They'd got invaded.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have been a
big
small helicopter
They'd been-
entering at the end. It would have been a fucking like
time. An Apache
RAF
attack
goddamn.
helicopter.
It's like fucking apocalypse now.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it would have not. It would have been a red wedding.
Jesus.
God damn. Oh. What else was there in this film?
What else?
There's too much. Well, the
There's
woman with the frog.
The fact that when she just puts on a donkey skin, I mean, I think it's just implied that she's like fuck ugly, or at least it makes her look fuck
Yeah.
ugly, and people aren't seeing her with just a donkey. on
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, there's a bit of dirt on her face and a donkey
Yeah,
on her
so
head.
you need a bit of
And like
dirt,
all of a sudden the
donkey
kids
skin, there you go.
all of a sudden the kids are like fucking dancing around in circles singing she's a fat ugly slag. I mean, what the fuck is that about?
Deserved.
I mean, she was cleaning out the pigs. That probably
Yeah,
wouldn't have
true.
helped.
Yeah. It's right. They
But
should
let's
have
hold on a
donkey
minute.
skin.
Hold on a minute. We do need to talk about, so once she leaves her kingdom within the donkey skin
And goes
to
more on
hide
the
from her
red
father.
horses, not the blue horses.
Yeah. What is this village that's the end? I was quite confused. I didn't know if it was a magical village or not.
No,
Why?
it's a
First of
village.
all, why is there a
So
woman
she's gone to a different
throwing up
kingdom.
frogs?
Why is there a helicopter, Joe? Don't question it.
I don't know. But
I
the
think the thing with
helicopter
this film
threw
is
me
that
off
there's
more
just
than the
so
woman
much
throwing up frogs.
there's so much random shit. You just have to not question it.
But this is why
Like-
no. But again,
Because it's
okay,
a fantasy world, Joe, right? And
this
it's,
okay.
a bit
I do
different
have
from
to
ours.
say though, the scenes with the elderly woman throwing up the frogs. I mean, it was something to behold because it didn't there was no context behind it. And so it just felt like this woman was meant to be saying her lines. And every now and then she just heave up a frog and spit it on the side. And you're just like, what are you doing? Why? And no one cared. No one went, oh, why is there a frog come out your mouth? I mean, that is a poor. I mean, it's the fact that the donkey gets to shit out gold and the woman has to throw up frogs. I mean, what is this film trying to say?
That's fair. I think that's
I
fair.
don't know, Joe. What is this?
Yeah,
film trying
tell
to
us.
say
I don't know.
with our observation.
I don't know. I really don't know.
You know what? Let's talk about a bit about the music in the film. That's a big element. It's a musical, even though it doesn't feel massive. I don't know. It doesn't feel massively like a musical.
It doesn't feel like a musical. It feels like a movie that just has
There's,
that
like a
like
couple of songs scattered
breakout in song every now and then.
Yeah.
Because if it was a musical, they'd be singing all the fucking time, and I hate musicals. I don't mind it when
just
it's
like a previous Jacques Demy film where it's all music. It's a never.
yeah,
ending
but
song.
it's like it didn't feel out of place having a breakout into song because you did just come from a scene with a woman throwing up frogs. So the fact that they just break out into song
So
seems a
finally,
bit
It's
just
more
not
fucking
too
normal.
far left field. Yeah.
No, I mean it wasn't terrible. It
The
wasn't
best
terrible.
song. The best
The
song,
pa-
by the way, is where they're baking the cake.
Oh yeah, okay, that was a bit strange. Out of everything, that was a bit odd. You don't
What?
need to.
That is great.
I would like to see if you could
Bakes the
follow
cake.
I'd like to see if you could replicate the cake that she makes just by listening to the lyrics of that song. If you could bake an actual cake.
Hey, it's educational. You learn how to make a cake.
That's true.
You know, she makes it there as well. You know, in
In
front
her
of you.
donkey skin. Yeah.
No, she wasn't in the dock. She was in the fancy
No,
dress.
she just like recreated another version of herself. I mean, that wand seemed quite overpowered and was not used to its full potential.
I'll tell you what. When she went into when she first goes into that hut, right, that she's living now that she's like a
Yeah.
sullen wench. Like she's like, oh, this place is awful. I gotta change it. Just puts down a table, chair, bed,
I was
mirror,
gonna say this.
and like it's still just a shithole. There's like chickens on the
Yeah,
floor.
surely
Like
she
you're
could
not
just
gonna
wave
fix
it
this.
over and be like clean.
Clean, make it clean. Give it a nice
Yeah.
carpet. Fix
I
the
mean, she was
fucking
able to
window.
duplicate herself. Surely she could just use that wand to duplicate herself, send it to her weird ass father who wanted to marry her, and then just go about with the rest of her life.
Then you wouldn't have the
Go about.
movie, Joe.
Oh, plot hole, plot hole.
Actually, what if the actual plot is that the fairy godmother actually wanted to marry the king, and
I think that's
so
what it
you know,
was. I
yeah,
actually think that
she
was the
doesn't. She
underlying
actually doesn't
plot.
have a problem with incest. She's just
Yeah. Like, the princess even asked her, like, what is your issue with my father? Why won't you let me marry him? And she's like, don't worry about it. She never says why. She doesn't make it very clear that she's there to help her or anything. She's very persistent. And then fucking as soon as she's out the window, fucking fairy godmother swoops in on her helicopter and picks him up. She was just there for a bit of action. That's what I say.
Nothing. Look, fairy godmothers have to get laid as well, Joe.
this is true.
This is
Mm,
true, and if it means
you are right.
disturbing a weird incest relationship, maybe it was for the better. But it was for the greater good.
Maybe
Although
so.
no donkeys were harmed in the making of said. Actually, they can't actually put that at the end of this film, can they? Because a donkey was harmed
There was
for the making of
alive.
this film.
There was a fucking donkey
The donkey
carcass.
was harmed,
A donkey was
Yeah.
harmed for it, yeah.
although
Yeah.
not directly. Probably just killed for the
We
sake.
don't know that.
We don't know that.
They
I mean,
could have had it
there's
killed for
no.
the
What
movie.
other reason would there be to slaughter a donkey? To be fair, like what can you gain from it? Like no one eats
Glue.
donkey meat. Glue. Okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Because let's be honest, let's envision that conversation. They go down to a slaughterhouse and they ask the question, "Do you have any skinned donkeys?" Realistically, they're going to get one of two answers. If they say yes, they just get the donkey skin. All right, luckily they had one. That donkey must have been dying or something. We'll take it. We'll
Yeah.
make a costume out. Good for you. If they say no, they're just gonna realistically. The second question they're going to ask is, "Can we get one?"
Yeah.
And then they're going to go fucking
Not
slaughter a
really.
donkey,
No,
aren't
you're
they?
gonna go. Is there? You'd go. Is there any donkeys coming up for slaughter, or do you know any other slaughterhouses that would be likely to have them?
And they'd say, "No, don't worry, I'll do it for you for a good price." Oh God.
So,
Well,
right,
is that
let's talk a bit. I think we're going on a bit here, but I'll just talk a bit. The ending, very obviously Cinderella, right? The ring that will only fit.
was this before or after Cinderella was
This, I believe, was written by the same guy. I
right?
believe this guy wrote
So
Cinderella.
the same guy that made
Not Jacques Demy, the guy who wrote
no,
the actual
yeah.
fairy
So
tale
the
was
same guy that
Cinderella.
wrote the fairy tale that went on to be one of the greatest Disney animation movies of all time, creating one of the greatest fairy tale princesses ever, Cinderella,
Mm.
also created a story where a king
Well, this was probably the
essentially
actual story.
Yeah,
Cinderella was
he didn't make
different.
this. Yeah, he didn't make the story. He just
Jacques,
rolled with
as
it.
I said before, Jacques Demy was much more. He wants to tell it how it is, as opposed to like, oh, well, not a big fan of like sanitizing it almost. A lot of these original fairy tales are fucked.
oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they're bad.
I mean, the helicopters.
That's what they should use the live action. The Disney should use those live action remakes for. Is to just tell the actual fairy tale. That'd be way better, rather
They
than just
did
doing
make
the
a
same
movie
movie.
about that. I've seen it. I can't remember what it was called. It was something like Brothers Grimm or something. And it was
I've
about
seen that. That film was
yeah, and
terrible.
no, but that film included like because most
Yeah.
fairy tales that became, beloved, I don't know, Disney classics and all this and that. The actual original they stem from original fairy tales that are normally much darker.
Yeah.
I think the most famous example is the one of Little Red Riding Hood. The classic story that gets told is that Little Red Riding Hood, she finds her grandmother's been it's a wolf.
Been devoured. Consumed, one may say.
But the actual fairy tale is a wolf goes in, eats the grandmother alive, and then attacks Red Riding Hood, who then has to go get a guy with an axe who then has to butcher the wolf. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a bit more. You can't whack that on fucking Disney Channel.
I think you could get part of it in there for sure.
I mean, they shot Bambi, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh no, did Bambi?
That's true.
Wait, was Bambi shot or was it a fire?
How long
No,
before they
Bambi's
do it?
mother was shot.
Yeah, she was shot. How long before they do a live action Bambi, do you think?
I mean, there's the second babysitter film on Netflix where they have, I think, a Instagram influencer shoot Bambi.
What? But why?
Why not?
Because why
but,
not?
But why?
I don't know. It's
Anyway.
like she's got a gun and she's just like, it works. Just shoots
Yeah.
fucking Bambi. Like, did you fucking shoot Bambi?
God.
Ryan, you're
Right.
losing your damn mind, man. You're losing your damn mind.
Yes.
Shall we move on?
Right, let's move on to the effects. Joe, you got stuff to say about this. Talk.
Well, I think overall, the effects. Obviously, we're dealing with a movie that's from the 70s. And so I would assume that like most of the effects we're seeing, the transitions and stuff, they're a bit choppy, a bit kind of, they don't age well, but I don't think anything really did back then.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that did
Speak for
tickle me.
yourself.
There's a couple that did tickle me, and I think it shows the age and the time that this film came out. For example, just little things like, when she's entering the village for the first time after she's ran away, she's wearing the donkey skin.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
and as she enters, the scene is that everyone else is frozen in time. It's her entering. But all the actors are frozen in time, but all the horses and the chicken
Oh, yeah, move.
and everything else are just still moving. And it's like, well, this is breaking it slightly for me. But I think it didn't take away from it because look, it is what it is. I think it kind of added to it for me a little bit. It's like, oh, it's kind of funny. All the actors are like staying perfectly still, and you just got a horse that's just trying to eat its fucking hay, like still cutting about. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were terrible.
No, yeah. I thought like just the practical, just the effects for the time. I thought they were, it looked like the other films at the time.
I think
it alright.
they look a lot better. I'll say this about because a lot of these like older films, I definitely like watch these more than you two.
Yeah.
But I guess it's
You
less.
definitely fucking do.
Yeah. You look at like early 2000s where it was just people using like shitty CGI.
It ages
And
better
you go
than
back
that.
and you look at that and you're just
That's
like,
true.
it doesn't look good. There wasn't like a lot of effort put into this. Whereas when you go back and watch a film like say Donkey Skin, it's like you can see what they were going for and you can appreciate that there was at least a bit of creativity that had to go into making it this way, even if it has aged a bit since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there definitely was the people behind. I mean, there definitely was some like quite. If you're really gonna like delve into some of the effects, I mean, they definitely got around things quite cleverly for at the time. Like for example, the effects on the dresses, like the making it look like the sky, having like the what do they do? They projected the clouds just onto the dress. I mean, it works,
Mm.
and and I will say one effect that I think looked really well done was the one where when he was approaching the hut in the woods and he come across this like it was like a force field he couldn't pass. Now that's obviously going to be just like a glass pane or a screen, but you couldn't see it. He did look like he was pressing against like an invisible force field, and there was like you couldn't tell there was a screen there, which I think it looked a lot better than if they try and do invisible force fields now. Because normally they just show like some weird shit over the screen.
What do you mean, Joe? The force field from the Phantom Menace looks fantastic. You know
But
the
I
one
mean,
I'm on about. The one with the
some of the
Gungans.
effects may have required maybe just a slight bit more finesse. Like, you know, when the fairy godmother like changed from yellow to purple, and it's a very obvious just cut of scene,
Yeah, they
kind of teleports a few centimeters to the left. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a bit messy. But going away from like effects, I think the look of the movie was quite good. I
gave
said
it,
before,
yeah. So sort of Jacques Demy is very well known for sort of like the colors in his films. They're all it's all very like bright and colorful, and it's definitely the case with Donkey Skin. And he sort of uses it to make almost like that fantasy element enhanced because everything
yeah,
is a bit it's a bit exaggerated. Like the
yeah,
fucking
and I mean,
dress of the weather, like
very
that.
Alice in
That was good.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
That's the kind of vibes I was getting
I
from
was
it.
definitely getting Alice in Wonderland ones. Yeah.
It looked good. I mean, I liked the ridiculous
I mean, yeah, it
fucking.
looks better than the most recent Alice in, those
Yeah,
recent
it does.
the
Oh
Tim
god,
Burton Alice in Wonderland
Yeah.
movies?
yeah, they were
Jesus Christ.
awful. And I mean, I liked how like in these kingdoms they just like paint everybody blue and red. You just
Oh
got
my
these
god, yeah,
fucking
the
like
amount. Just what are we gonna
they did Avatar before Avatar.
Yeah.
do? We'll paint the horses blue. What about when she goes to a different kingdom? We'll paint them red.
We'll paint them red.
We'll paint the people blue and then the people red.
But yeah,
That's-
I quite enjoyed it.
And those horses were probably harmed because that paint was probably like lead.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking at a time where they probably didn't
We
take
thought-
much.
Yeah, there wasn't. I think it was like the Willy Wonka film or some shit, wasn't it? The original
Yeah.
Italian factory that made like bring in health and safety.
Yeah,
That's all the
because
shit
I
they
mean,
did
they
in
were
that.
just painting, and they also just had like fucking like an elephant at the end of the film. Like, where the
Oh, yeah?
fuck did they get that?
They
India.
got it from they got it from that Barbie film I was telling you about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Same elephant.
Yeah.
better elephant than the Barbie elephant.
Yeah, it is. That one doesn't give me nightmares. It's not an eldritch horror of the night. Oh dear.
Oh, see, that elephant has like 2 a.m. sleep paralysis.
Yeah, it
demon vibe.
does. Where you just
Like-
can't move and it's just getting closer, and you're like, no. It licks its human-like
It looks
lips.
like it'd have like a child's voice as well.
It
to make
does,
even
which
more
makes it
fun.
so much worse. Oh.
Anyway,
Moving on from the weird
Let's
elephants
wrap
and
this all up.
yeah,
But not really, because we've still got a bit to go.
acting goat and
Who
acting
is the
stoat.
goat? Hey, you're the host.
Oh,
Bastard.
I don't know who
I get
is
to point out the
anymore.
goat, which for some reason is like a cartoon or clip. That's a good clip art goat, and then an actual stoat because no one's making clip art of stoats.
I'll be the first.
You're gonna have to when you make finally the stoat graphic.
Oh,
Oh.
So, let's begin with you, Cameron. Who was the goat? Who was the stoat?
Well, I feel like the
Do
goat,
you know any of the actors?
not by name, but I think the goat was, ironically, the donkey itself. Did you hear those? Did you hear those the little
It's
screams
quite
it
a
did? Where
vocal
it was very vocal. It was giving it its all. It
yeah.
was going for the Oscar that year. I mean, it didn't win it, but it was going for it, and I respect that. It has as much talent as Leonardo DiCaprio does when he goes for the when
You
he
should
went
have
for the
said
Oscar.
Jenny the donkey.
Jenny the
You missed an opportunity.
I missed, but it's alright.
Compare generational donkey actors.
And thinking of the stoat, I tell you what, I'm gonna do him dirty, but I'm going with the helicopter pilot.
No, come on. Come on.
He was not in that performance at all. He was
He
way
was a convincing helicopter
He
pilot.
was way
okay?
too focused on the health and safety and making sure they didn't crash. I didn't see him. Look, he didn't bare his little. He didn't give me a little cheeky grin or anything like that. That's all I wanted.
You're trying to fucking land a helicopter next to a fucking elephant. That's why.
But yeah, those are my two. What about you, fellas?
Who wants to go? I'll go.
Yeah, you can go.
Wow. I'd say my acting goat. I would say if the parrot was actually speaking those lines, then my acting goat would be the singing parrot. But just in case he wasn't, and it was just a dub, I'd actually give my acting goat to somebody we haven't mentioned yet. But
Ooh.
it's the guy in the Red Kingdom who would just run around, and every time he'd say a line, he'd just say it slightly wrong the first time, then correct himself
You mean the
every single
prince?
time. No, not the prince. The like the royal guard guy who was running around, and every time he said a
Oh,
line, he
yeah.
would say it incorrectly, and then go over and say the line again. I mean, it's got some
Yeah.
persistence. That'd be my acting go, and then my stoat. My acting stoat would be. Well, who would it be? I'll say the woman with the frogs in her
I
mouth.
saw you looking, Ryan.
Stop looking at the elephant.
No, he's looking
That's
at
not
the.
the elephant.
Is that
I was gonna wait until you were done to bring this up. Cameron's just put fucking some shit in the group chat. I don't know what it is.
that's
What's
from
he
the
It's probably
put?
same
from Barbie.
movie, the Barbie movie. It's the
Oh,
turtle.
God.
That's the
Turtle.
elephant and the turtle, but it's a turtle with a human face, and it's haunting.
Oh my! We might need to do this movie.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Anyway, yeah, that's mine.
All right, yeah,
Ryan, what's
those are
yours?
good ones. Those are good ones.
My go. You know what? For the go, I'm gonna have to go. You know, I'm gonna be the basic bitch and go as just
Shameful.
our main character, the princess, Donkey Skin herself. I think it's just just overall really good performance from her. I think nothing really to complain about. She is in the movie. The movie is around her, like, and stoked. The stoat is gonna have to go to the horse that was eating his hay as opposed to standing still. You know,
He missed the cue.
that
He missed
that
the cue.
that is just amateur shit. You know, when you're told to stand still and you don't,
Yeah.
and he's clearly been doing it a lot as well because they've just given up at this point. So yeah, that horse, cunt.
His
Every
hearing
sense of
problems.
the
He just missed his cue. You're making fun of the deaf, Ryan. Do you feel good about
word.
yourself now?
Yes. This is a podcast. What are they gonna do? Listen.
They'll have no idea.
Exactly.
Turn on the
Unless
YouTube
we
transcriptions.
no, oh shit.
No, please.
I said death is in with a TH.
Yeah, that's
It's
the one. Yeah.
Halloween month.
Whoa. For fuck's sake. All right.
Right, move on.
Move on.
Scores. Cameron, you're at the top. Go. Score.
Right. Mine it. I'll tell you what. Just for the helicopter thing, I'll give it an F rather than a void.
You can avoid
Oh
this.
I was gonna.
wow!
Well, it was not my cup of tea at all. But the helicopter brought it back. To be fair, and I did like hearing the the helicopter. So I'm going with F.
Not even for the baking song. That was a banger.
No, it just again it wasn't really my thing. It's kind of hard to explain. It just wasn't. So I'll pop it there. To be fair, it wasn't.
God
It's
damn it.
not like it was like as actually no. It was just fucking weird. That's also why I don't. The really weird stuff. It gets to me like a whisker away. That stuck with me. That still gives me night terrors.
Okay, was this better or worse, would you say then?
I don't
The
know, man.
frickin' the cat. Come
The cat with a human
You
face.
smell
What
like
if it's
sunshine.
ah!
Like, come on.
I still have people at work to this day coming up to me and saying that because I told them about the escapade with it. They just come up and they come up and sniff me and go, "You smell like sunshine." I have to like waft them away. I bet you don't get
Fuck.
sniffed in your office, do you, Ryan?
No.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I'm going with F.
God.
What's the score?
I am not that far down the board. I'll be honest. You know, it might surprise you, but I kind of liked it. Wouldn't
A
necessarily say it's, a great movie, but I mean, the helicopter thing really did push it over for me. It added so much character. It added more depth to the film than I thought there could ever be. So I'm going to be a bit more generous, and I'm going to put it in D. It's a D tier film for me.
D for donkey.
D for
Oh,
donkey.
D for
That's it.
donkey.
There you go.
I like that. Right. Well, Ryan.
Well, I'm not as low down as you
Well, yeah,
two.
I've seen your review score. Yeah. What are you thinking?
I actually really enjoyed this film. More so second time round. I think I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. Like there's not really a lot of complaints for me in the film, and maybe watching nothing but horror films for the past like 2 weeks has absolutely warped my view of taste. But I'm gonna put this in A tier.
Oh
Because
my.
I know it's to me refreshing to not watch something that was a horror.
It's a fair point.
All right. Well, Ryan, you have to say the line now.
Right, yeah. And with the power of movie magic, D for
Yeah.
donkey skin, much to my displeasure.
It's fine. It works though. It works. D
It
for
does work.
donkey. It fits. It fits in nicely. It was meant to be. Honestly,
It's meant to
saves
be,
us from
right?
having to
Mega
reshuffle
minded
anything.
S tier. I can't wait to listen back to that one and find out what black magic went on to get it there.
Look at his little smile though. Doesn't he? Just look at he looks at his little cheeky grin, smiling back.
It's like, how the fuck did you get there, dude?
That's a man who deserves to be an S just for that cheeky grin alone. Look at him. He knows he belongs there.
He knows he doesn't. He's a this fucking super villain plot to get into S tier.
It just looks like he's trying to bait you into just getting mad though. It adds to the whole thing. It's the best one in S tier right now.
God,
It
damn
pulls the whole thing together. Right, all right. There we go.
Right, moving on. What's the know with Joe? Where we get to know what Joe wants to know. Joe, what do you want to know?
It's a simple
Ditto.
one this week,
Yeah, they need
my
to move
friends.
on to-
A very simple one. In the honor of Donkey Dick.
Mhm.
I'd like to know if you were a king within this realm and you could have a prized animal that had a unique ability. What animal would it be, and what would it be able to do?
Oh, I've got
He's
it.
got Ryan. Go first. Go first.
I would have a turtle that is a trained choir singer.
You could have a parrot.
No,
Okay, a turtle. Why?
I don't know. It's a thing that you said.
Okay, nice, perfect. Cameron.
No, in
Oh.
all seriousness, I'd actually have that elephant from the Barbie movie.
No.
That was gonna be yours, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, but you'd have that because then any invading armies would be scared away by whatever the fuck that is.
That's true.
Are you really gonna go? Are you really
Yeah.
gonna want to conquer a kingdom that is home to that fucking
That
abomination?
is very true. All right, that works.
Because then you're the one who owns it.
Yeah, you're the guy.
Cameron?
No one wants that. Well, this is gonna be a little bit of a callback, and it's not chest hands, so don't worry yourself. I was planning on saying some kind of animal with surgical skills so it could apply chest hands to me, but I'm not. I'm not going down that avenue. I'm going with now. It's gonna be a bit of a twofer here. I would want a rat, but I'd also want a squirrel.
Fuck.
And through those two animals, we would create an epic 8-book-long saga of an ongoing war between these
This
two
is meant to be a
feuding
hypothetical, you
rodents. It's hypothetical. Well, for now. And who knows what happens in it? Who knows? That their ability would be that they would have increased aggravation to the other animal and those of that species, and they would lead their armies into all sorts of conquests for the entertainment of humanity, and we would just sit back and watch as this blood-curdling war fought along. How entertaining would that be? It'd be like a little gladiator arena. Who knows what would go down? Heroes would rise, rats would fall. It'd be crazy. I'm game. I'd watch the movie. When are we doing that movie?
When you make it
It's happening.
a worst movie podcast special.
Worst movie podcast. I'll star all of you in it. Joe, you can be the squirrel. Digos can be a rat. Ryan, you're going to be the pigeon reinforcements that come in. But
I want to be a rat. Oh.
No, you're pigeon reinforcements now.
Fuck. So I get a helicopter at least so I can fly.
Yes.
Or do I have to learn flight?
You get to. And Joe, what about you, buddy?
Me, I would have a large cow. I was dressed as one of those German barmaids with the Viking horns and the ponytails, so it could just produce endless amounts of beer for my personal consumption. And I would marry this cow.
What the fuck?
So,
wait.
Does Mia know about
there's
this
a
dream?
sexual element to this.
Yeah.
That's why,
you fucking the
I
cow,
had to be
Joe.
dressed like a German barmaid.
Yeah. It could have been a normal cow that produced beer instead of milk, but no, it had to be dressed.
It had to be married with the most beautiful woman in all the land.
Yeah. There you go. Donkey skin. Nah, cow
hide.
All right. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Thanks very much.
All right, Joe. So yeah, what we're looking at next week, Ryan?
That's the last time we asked Joe what he knows.
No, don't break the formula.
Break it. Break it.
Break it. Yeah, next week we are doing, in honor of the spooky month, Scary Movie 4, because it's the only scary movie that is on any streaming service that's not fucking Now TV.
I have Now TV.
No, that's not the reason. The reason is because of Dr. Phil. All right.
Yeah, look at him. He's got a little saw. He's gonna get killed.
Is that the kid from The Grudge on? Anyway, that's for next week. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, I mean, I guess if you got this far, you probably enjoyed it.
Maybe
like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We still might do the thing where if someone tells us to watch a film, we'll go watch it.
We will.
No one suggested a film in an entire fucking year. I'm looking at you. Who do we know anyone who actually watches this?
We don't.
Me.
Joe,
I don't know. I don't know anyone who actively watches it. I think people from my work have seen like one episode.
Adam, fuck you, Adam.
Yeah, actually,
Fuck
yeah.
you,
All right,
Adam.
yeah, right. Fuck him. Yeah, that little bastard.
Yeah. There's other socials and stuff. Don't know how active they are. They're in Decos's
And
hands.
yeah.
I guess see you next week for Scary Movie 4.
Hey.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ah.